Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dan Anderson in the Oxford office, wishing you all a very hearty welcome to this week's webinar. Now, I'm doing this from the UK because sadly I couldn't travel to Pakistan this weekend for reasons beyond my control. But it's nice to see that as per normal, we have our global group coming together here regardless of geography. And so we do have people from Pakistan and from Hungary and from Russia and from Sweden and from Germany and from UK and from Côte d'Ivoire and from Slovenia and from France and from Reunion and from Finland and from Turkey, I think, and from Greece and Egypt and I don't know, oh, Trinidad is here as well, and China, of course, very, very good to see China, and I think 2 or 3 other destinations where I don't actually know where the names connect to. So as always, this is the weekly pulse beat of Leo to keep you informed. And I was reminded last week of how kind of pleased we should be with ourselves over this, because not many companies maintain a communication channel like this for 5 years, where more often than not the CEO is speaking directly to the field partners, etc. So this is kind of testimony to the belief that we have that this is about transparency and this is about communicating. And while we have, well, I guess we're not a perfect company, but we are a company with perfect intentions, and we are a company that tries very, very hard to do the right thing by its field. So for those of you who are new, welcome aboard, and just great to see so many people on this call. Now we're going to be talk today on digital market service, Leo Gold news, events, and timeline. And there's a couple of things to update you on and keep you abreast with. We are progressing forward. We have a few legal irritations that is going on, and you will have seen that we have some conflicts going on in different arenas. But they're kind of the bigger you get as an organization, the more you have something, the more people want to participate in that. And I guess it's fair to say that the only way to not get into conflicts of that nature is to do nothing. And of course, we've decided to do something. So the bigger we get, the more important our legal fights and our legal departments are going to be. And that's the nature of the beast. In the meanwhile, we progress and move our business forward. So our digital market service is an internal product for our members only. As you know, this gives you access to mining power for a 12-month period where you're participating in us setting up specific rigs to explore the expertise that we've gained in the mining arena now since we started this in 2014. And it certainly is an interesting place. I was speaking to people who are comparing cryptocurrencies to the .com revolution, and honestly, I think it's a bit larger than that. So people are only just catching on, and we have a head start, and we're marketing something to people where people are really kind of interested. I'm getting contacts on a daily basis practically from people who understand that I'm involved in digital currencies, and they ask me for my view and my opinion on different things. And of course, one can only share what one honestly believes in. There are no guarantees for what's going forward. But today, just 10 minutes before this seminar, I checked the Bitcoin price, and the Bitcoin price is now some $8,254 as of the last time I checked. And of course, it's very volatile. It's going up and down like crazy, but it is absolutely extreme what's going on, because the volatility is there and the market is going up and down. But since 12 months back, the market has gone up by a factor of 10, or the price of Bitcoin has gone up by a factor of 10. The capitalization of the entire digital currency space is enormous, and the interest from the public is now breaking through. I was having a conversation with our financial controller this morning, who was speaking to a neighbor, and the neighbor had never heard of Ethereum, but when he said Bitcoin, oh yeah, I know what Bitcoin is. So there is kind of this space where most people are understanding that something is going on with Bitcoin, and the digital market service taps into that awareness that something is going on. So for you as members of our business, and if you wanted to speak to the people that are brand new to our business and they're in and they've got gold or they got to the bronze rank or higher, this is a fantastic opportunity for them to participate in something that would be too technical for them to do on their own, unless they already are a nerd, in which case they already know about Bitcoin and they already know about the space. But for the ordinary aunts and uncles of the business, this is a perfect product. Now, going back 12 months, like I say, one of the thoughts that I had the other day was, if we'd launched this service a year ago in a market where Bitcoin has gone up by a factor of 10, it would have been an absolutely mind-blowing situation that we would have now, where our members who purchased the rig 12 months ago have got access to an asset that has gone up so much in value. We're just launching this here now, and who knows where the market goes. There's no guarantees for anything, and I wouldn't like to pretend that we know for certainty what's going to go on. But there are very educated people, and there are people who are in the financial sphere who are talking about this being a bubble and it's going to burst. There are other people talking about the price of Bitcoin before Christmas will go up to $10,000. There are other people saying $80,000. There are other people saying the next year or within the next couple of years, it could go up to $250,000 per Bitcoin. Now, I don't even know myself who's someone who's got a stake in this environment. None of us knows. Me here, the head of the Leo Coin Foundation, we often talk about the digital currency market, and what is absolutely true is that this is a very irrational market, and it seems to be moving depending on swings in public confidence. But the service is here for that reason, and for anyone who wants to participate, this is a very, very cool proposition. So we're very, very excited about that. Now, as you know, we are in the midst of setting in place the first tranche of mining, and the 1st of February sees that go live for the people who have purchased. For the people who are purchasing at the moment, it will go further forward, and as we go forward, depending on what's happening with supply and demand of hardware and graphics card and ASICs and the combination of hardware that we're buying for this service, we can't predict, but we will let you know at time of purchase for when your service will be going live, because there's a logistical battlefield here to make this happen, because we have to purchase hardware all over the world. We have to assemble it, we have to put it together, we have to operate it, we have to do all of those logistics. So there is, as per anything, a fair amount of moving parts. But we'll try to be as transparent as we can and as clear as we can, so that we manage you and your members' expectations accordingly. Now, Leo Gold is, I said last week that I'm waiting with bated breath, kind of still waiting with bated breath on plan A, our preferred route forward. We have a plan B, C, D, and E in place as well. So there's plenty of routes for how this first project of the Leo banking project will play out. But we want to get this launched now as soon as possible. We are just waiting for final confirmation of that one critical piece in the jigsaw puzzle. But it is looking very good indeed. But I just wanted to give you an update, because we get questions all the time. At the moment, we're just waiting for confirmation that we have a commercial relationship that will be part of this, and then everything is kind of go, go, go. The other thing that's going on, which is very, very cool, is that we're getting more and more media attention. We have an absolutely fantastic PR space for Leo and Leo Coin, and if you search us up on the internet, you obviously get some of the scaremongering and some of the negative things. But we have an overwhelming positive amount of PR out there in the marketplace, and this idea of having training as our core value proposition, of having personal and professional development is very cool. And as you know, some of you, that I was trained in neuro-linguistic programming, so I was very, very pleased to see this article on smallbusiness.co.uk talking about NLP tips to help you win sales and influence people, because this is our entrepreneurial space. And we were talking about active listening, word power, mirroring, but it was referencing Leo in the article. And again, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to show prospects and people around you why this is such a powerful product set and why this is so good for business. We also have a latest update in the Leo coin space, is that we are now actually trading on bit Z, or bit Z, as some people say. You can trade BTC, Ethereum, Litecoin, and other coins there, including Leo coin. Very, very credible platform, very, very professionally run in terms of their security and confidentiality. And more importantly, one of the top 10 exchanges in Asia, in the Chinese-speaking communities. So it's very, very early days. There's a lot of work to do to get the sales and the volume up, because it's kind of just starting right now. But our Chinese-speaking community is very encouraged by this, because it's just another way for them to be able to evangelize and share with people what we're doing with our actual Leo coin and our digital currency that actually really exists, as opposed to so many of the scams that are out there. Now, I wanted to just take this opportunity to steal a slide of Mihir Magudia's, who is out in China at the moment on the 30K tour. But I saw this slide and I absolutely loved it, because not quite sure how it will play on this webinar platform. Videos are never that brilliant here, but I think it'll work because of the nature of it. It basically shows in a movable format exactly how much work as an organization we have done in fighting the good fight, in promoting the cause, in sharing with the world what Leo coin, what Learning Enterprise Organization is all about. And it's nice and kind of refreshing to see that because of our position in digital currencies, we get a lot of, it's very easy for us to get media attention. It's very easy for us to get people to look at us and ask us for interviews and things, because everyone is interested in this digital currency space. If we were just doing washing powder, skincare, soap, household products, not so easy. I'll just press play and see if you on your screens get a sense of the sheer thud factor of the PR that we've been doing out in the world since we started, especially with Leo coin. So it's one thing after the other, and it goes bang, 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 bang. It is just the most amazing thing, because much rain wears the marble, and suddenly you get this momentum, and you get this kind of thick body of work, which is extraordinary. Now, I got Graham sitting out there. Did that play at all well? Yeah? So I hope that you understand that if we put all of this material together, we're talking about column inches in thickness, and not just in length of articles. I mean, most direct selling companies are very happy to get a sort of a small PR mention somewhere. We have single-minded pursuit of Leo and Leo coin in terms of pages after pages in different media and in the press. This is part of being involved in an interesting landscape called digital currencies, as well as entrepreneurship training, but it's also recognition and part of the fact that we are a credible company. We're a real company in the real world. We're not based in Bahamas. We are not based offshore. We have a UK company. We have compliance. We have DSA memberships. We are dealing with regulators. We pay our taxes. We engage with compliance. We have banking relations all over the world. We kind of pass the stress test of any new organization now, where after 5 years, we actually have a credible presence in the world. We are an upstanding business community member. And as such, I was really, really proud last week to be invited to 10 Downing Street. Now, together with Mihir Magudia, we were a part of a delegation from the Enterprise Forum, which is a 20-year-old organization that fights for entrepreneurship and for enterprise in the UK, and making connections to government and opposition as well. It makes connections to politics. And because they're into an enterprise, that's what Leo does. And so we've been a member of this association. And they invited us to come along to Downing Street. Now, all of our salespeople, all of our networkers, I guess many of you on this call, you have a slight tendency to exaggerate. And what I mean by that is, I want to put it really, really clear. We were not invited to have a meeting with the Prime Minister in the UK. But we were invited into the Prime Minister's house. 10 Downing Street is where all British Prime Ministers have their residence during their term of office. And we were invited to come there. We were able to take pictures outside, or rather inside the compound, in front of the door. We attended this meeting together with Fortune 500 companies, with politicians, with members of parliament, and with government ministers, with lobbying agencies, with PR agencies. And there was little Leo, the 5-year-old baby lion, the baby company. And we are able to fly the Leo sign in this company because we're real. You can imagine that you don't get into the Prime Minister's residence without them having done checks on you, without them establishing that you're real people, that you're not taking advantage of the public or doing despicable things like some money games and things that are out there. Now, I want to stress that because this is unusual in direct selling. There are very, very few direct selling companies that have had the opportunity to do what little Leo has done. And for me, it was a career highlight. For me, it was something that I was fiercely proud of because I love direct selling, but it's never been an industry where you get access to kind of the creme de la creme of politics and the incumbents of how nations are run, if you like. In addition to this, going forward into January, we are launching a day called Digital Currency Day, and we're launching this day in the Houses of Parliament. So again, a testimony to the fact that we're in an interesting place and we are a credible player in this place. So enough about banging the drum about that, but very, very cool and very, very nice for you to be able to put in front of your people to say, well, look, this is what the company is doing. We are fighting the fight as a corporation to make sure that you have positive news, that you have positive media, that you have PR pieces that just will deal with the negativity and some of the scaremongering that's out there, because most people will say no because they feel, oh, I'm not sure what this is. The other thing that I was very, very proud to share with you is this, that Leo is opening an office and has opened the office in Côte d'Ivoire. Justin Adjoumani Koukou is the office manager. He's coming, or Kouakou I should say, is coming to the UK very, very shortly to be introduced to all the UK staff and to get involved with how we operate the business at the moment. He's dealt with Graham Kent and the other teams to get started. But very, very pleased with this. Now, again, this is a small sales office in Côte d'Ivoire. But it's kind of, Côte d'Ivoire is an interesting place because it's very strategic in terms of its language and in terms of its location. You know me, for the last few years, I've been talking a lot about what I believe Africa will do. I think that when Africa gathers its momentum, it will teach us a thing or two about entrepreneurship. And very, very pleased to have several footholds into Africa. And we want to really support the continent there because entrepreneurship is one of the things that will help enormously with any problems that they may or may not have in different countries across the region. But I think that entrepreneurship and especially direct selling and cryptocurrencies has solutions to fundamental endemic problems in Africa. And wherever there's a problem, there's an opportunity for an entrepreneur. And that's what we're trying to capitalize. Now, the China 30K tour is in full swing. They've gone through the halfway point and they only have 2 events left now. So you can still buy tickets for tomorrow in Handan and the 23rd in Guangzhou. And there's lucky draws at each event. They're all receiving gold. There's the limited edition 888 tour book available, people, and they're kind of going like hotcakes. So if any of you have any connections in the provinces where these cities are, I would suggest that you get them there, because if you look at the pictures here from where it started as in a very, very small setting in the Hong Kong office for a small Hong Kong business, when it then went into the China mainland in Chengdu, you can see that the crowds are getting bigger, the venues are getting extraordinary, and me here and our good friend, the consultant Andy Hansen, are really filling the crowds. So to be able to give people a taster of what Leo and entrepreneurship is about, to be able to talk about gold, to be able to talk about shifting paradigms in terms of digital currency, etc., it's just a privilege to be able to do this in this superpower that's emerging called China. So in Urumqi, the third event was then, and in Tangshan on the 19th, we have this event here where they were given a painting, a watercolor of 7 oxen, which would have deep meaning in China. One of the things that I heard as the Chinese word for oxen actually sounds the same as the word for cool. So this was a very cool event. And as you go forward, the other thing, while all of that is going on, in Karachi, Pakistan, there was a leadership event for the 3 days of 17th, 18th, and 19th of November. So it concluded yesterday, and I dialed in on a Skype call to deliver some training there. But if you look at a 3-day event, where pretty much the majority of the room is an associate or higher for this leadership training that it was, where we had VIPs like television personalities. We had people from the DSAP from Pakistan, Liaquat Magre and Waka Suhail, our general manager for the region. I think they pulled off one of the best events that I've ever seen in this marketplace, full stop, not just in Leo's history, but in the direct selling industry in Pakistan, full stop. It's absolutely phenomenal to see what's going on in terms of duplication, in terms of leadership, in terms of positive attitude in Pakistan. And as you know, when you've been to some of our international events and met the Pakistanis, they have such good attitude, they have such good spirit and energy that we always just love them, and we always want to have more of them. Now, I'm particularly fond of the picture in the top left-hand corner here, where these funny guys are lying down making Leo on the grass, which is just cool. Now, I did a training there over Skype, and I was ably translated by the one and the only Waka Suhail. And it was kind of a timely message for us as an organization, because I think that we're now getting into a little bit of power, we're getting into a little bit of success. And one of the things that I've seen in the past is that I often talk about this. I say that the network marketing industry, the direct selling industry, is about freedom. It's freedom to work to your terms. It's freedom to work your hours. It's freedom to work with who you want to work with. It's freedom to build a global business. It's freedom to create a win-win with people where you can be successful together. So that's one side of the coin, if you like, and that's the fundamental exciting thing about direct selling, is that it's such a positive force. But the flip side of that coin, the flip side of that good force is the negative force, and that's when kind of, because there's money around and because people make money, there's kind of greed as well. And one of the themes of my training was that you have to be mindful of your integrity. I built a bit of a story around this quote here that from Abraham Lincoln, saying that nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. And for me, I'm very, very pleased to be able to say that when I look in the mirror, I'm quite pleased to see a person who's been round the tables a few times, and I've sort of seen the good, the bad, the ugly of this industry, and what I believe in is in the value of hard work and kind of doing what you said you're going to do, and honoring your commitments. But I have seen how this industry and the success of this industry also changes people's characters, and they start to believe the aggrandizement, they start to believe the exaggerations, they start to believe the recognition, and start to think that they're special. And what I'm really impressed with someone like, say, Liaquat Magre, is that he's got both feet on the ground and he knows who he is, and his success has not corrupted him. And when I look across the Leo leaders that we have good people in our leadership positions. We have great people who've worked hard to get to where they are, but they haven't climbed there over dead bodies. They haven't climbed there. Their success is not built on other people's failures. They're built on their integrity and their hard work. So this is what we stand for. We have a philosophy, we have values, we have something that we believe in here. So I was speaking to someone else and then saying to them that Leo, fortunately for me, has never been about the money. It's always been about how we can impact on people's lives. So we work like demons. We're all on a bit of a mission, and the mission goes on, and it goes on in Sweden. Andy Hansen is coming there on the 9th of December. Very, very pleased that he's going to my home country because they are getting the best. We are still very excited about our seminar on the 20th of January in Cameroon. There is now more information about this online, so put it in your diary and start to promote it, because this is going to be something that will be very exciting for me, and I will take that excitement with me to really knock the socks off that event. Now, when we come to the Leo Carnival, we're going to need a rest, because when I show you the timeline in the next slide, you'll see that we're working on an awful lot of things. Now, for the first time in Leo's history, this is a qualified out event. In other words, all the rooms have been qualified for, and the early plan that we made for the event has been fulfilled by about 101%. There are no buy-in opportunities for non-qualifiers anymore, so you can't sort of just buy yourself in. You have to actually qualify for it. Now, the qualifiers, everyone has a multi-occupancy room, and you can buy tickets for your spouse or your partner or your family to join you there. So you need to get cracking on that, because if you want to exercise that option, by the 30th of November, we need to know so that we can make plans accordingly. If you wanted to share your room with one of your team, yes, you can buy for that as well. But primarily, we want you to focus on getting your family there, because I'm going to take my wife there, where we're all going to be working like demons until then. And in May, we will have a lovely holiday to get ready for the next push forward. And we will be sharing with you some important news, because the timeline, 2017, is coming to a conclusion here now. So we've launched the digital market service. We are just in the process of launching the gold. The most important part of the gold is fine. It's a great product. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's a great counter narrative to digital currency, which again gives you an interesting story. But more importantly, it's the project one for the Leo banking concept. So once that's delivered, we can then start to build the infrastructure for the banking, because as you know, we want this to be a digital currency / banking based, no, gold based banking system. And so the gold is an intrinsic part of that. At the same time as all of the day-to-day business and all of these projects are going on, we're also working on the top secret project called Day 7. And we had meetings last week in the UK. And it's early days, and I can't tell you what it is, because it's just too early. But it is something that connects the internet with the blockchain, with some stuff that there's such a clear need for, that we think that this could be something that is absolutely huge. But then you have to be a Mauritius to be the people who get the first understanding about this and the first way to participate with it. So, call to action, quite apart from anything else, speak to more people, speak to them about the digital market service, educate them, start to help them take their first step in their learn and own mantra, and get them to learn about digital currencies and what's going on in the world with Bitcoin and the other alternative currencies, as well as Leocoin, of course. Gold savings is coming through very, very shortly, so keep watching this space. It could be almost any day now, but like I say, I'm sitting on my seat waiting with almost bated breath. We've got live seminars going on. We've got standard day-to-day business. And we've got some very, very strong enhancements that we're looking at making, and a few announcements coming through about the events schedule for next year, where we're putting in a new category event for a particular leadership level in our business. So in the same way that you can be an executive and go on the executive trip, we also want to do another category, and I'm not going to say anything more about that, but there's some exciting stuff going on. So we're always working on stuff here on the center. We're always working on the corporate side to support you by building you the best opportunity that we can imagine. And at the same time, we help you with your marketing activities. So we have VIP groups now coming into the office. We have all sorts of things going on. And at the same time, we work on all the legalities. We fight the legal battles, and we just move on, move on, move on. So this is Dan Anderson in Oxford saying thank you very much indeed. Now, I won't be here next week because I'm traveling, but there will be a suitable replacement from one of the senior team members who will be coming on to share the good news that's going on. So in the meanwhile, speak to more people and you will hear from Leo again, if not before, certainly